Hello, my crafty friends. Welcome. In this video, I'm going to be doing something a little different. So I finally hopped on the wagon and purchased the Spellbinders Glimmer hot foil system. It's been out for about 2 years, but I've just never picked it up, and I'm so glad I did. I had so much fun with this set. I think I was a little bit intimidated by it, but I'm going to do an unboxing really quickly for you to show you what's included. This is a newer system. It comes with a new magnetic pickup tool, and you can buy that separately as well. But here it is. This was a really handy little tool to use with this system. I'll show you this closer in just a minute. So let's pull out this Glimmer hot foil machine. I had to show more of my mat this time so that I could get everything on camera. So let's pull out the little instruction booklet. You also get a $5 coupon if you register your system. And I did read through the booklet, but I looked at a lot of videos online, instructional videos on how to use this, and I've watched a lot in the past. But I'm the type of person that I have to actually try it out in order for me to learn how to do it. I guess I'm a very hands-on sort of person. Here are the plates that come with this. You also get a beautiful oval glimmer and a sentiment that says happy birthday. That will be fun to play with. So here are your plates, and then you also get the silicone mat to put your hot dyes on so you don't burn your desk. Okay, let's pull out the actual base. And you can wrap your cord around the bottom of this if you're going to store it, which is really nice. Although I don't think I'll be storing mine very often after having played with it. It is so much fun. There is a nice long cord included with it. So I'll unravel this and attach it to the back. I have so many cords under my desk. I had to stop the video and find or reposition all my cords to find room for it. And you also see at the back that's where you turn it off and on, a little switch. And then here is the base. This is what slides in and out. You know, I probably don't even need to tell you all of this. I'm sure you've seen this a lot on YouTube. But that's the piece that gets really hot. So this is the set that I'm going to be using to try out my Glimmer hot foil system. This is called Sweet Cardlets II You Are My Home. There are several of these, and they are just gorgeous. They're new to the shop. It comes with this cute little house scene with the sun behind it, and then you get a separate house that they have a die that cuts out the house, as well as a heart and lots of little sentiments. So I turned on my system, and I'm going to use some beautiful black foil. I'll use the quick trimmer to cut out this foil. And this is, as I said, the very first time I've ever used it, so I do feel a little bit awkward in this video. But as I played with it and watched more videos as I was playing with it, I got more familiar with it and a lot more comfortable. But I'm just going to cut out enough to cover this frame. The slit has a very narrow opening at the bottom, and I was just having trouble finding that. And then I learned that you do have to cut it down around the corners. You don't want any harsh corners. And I felt kind of brave, so I was going to try the hinge system that I've seen Janis Mikula use a lot. So I wanted to position this in the middle of my paper. And I'm using Bristol Smooth paper because I want to do a little bit of coloring with my zig markers on this card. And then I'll put the foil underneath the frame. I'm going kind of slow because I had to remember which way to put the foil in. And then I'll tape the other side. Now that my system is all heated up, I'll flip it over and put it on the base, as well as my plates. And I put a piece of cardstock shim in between them. I pressed the timer button, and then once that stops flashing, I'll run it through my Spellbinders die cutting machine. I put that on the desk next to me. I have the Big Mama one, the 8.5-inch platform. So it was hard to get on the camera, so I just kept it to the right of me on my desk. And here is the big reveal. I'm trying hard not to burn myself. I wasn't sure how hot these actually got. So kind of awkward, but I think it did shift a little bit because it didn't foil out perfectly. Trying to pull off the frame. And now I can peel off the foil. And as I said before, I should have cut the edges down a little bit. But it wasn't bad for a first time. The black is so pretty and shiny. I love it. So I practiced with that a few more times off camera, and I decided just to foil it and then cut around my frame. Thought I'd keep it super simple for myself this time. Now I'm going to foil with a little bit of gold, this cute house hot foil plate. And I'm trying to cut it down a little bit smaller, just so it fits perfectly. I'm getting better with this quick trimmer as well. This time I'm going to preheat the Glimmer machine. It's so hard to pick up this foil sometimes. It was just awkward. But I'll get it. So I'll set the plate on the system and press the timer for it to heat up. And once that stops blinking, I'll add the gold foil pretty side down so it's facing the Glimmer. And then I'll put my cardstock on top of that. And again, this is Bristol Smooth. And I'm not worried about it being crooked because I'm going to cut this one out as well. So I'll put my plates and my paper shim on top of it. I should have pulled it off before I added my plate and the foil because this does shift as I do this. And it doesn't foil 100%. But I still use this to practice my coloring with my zig marker, so it's all right. Doing the same with the sentiments. I'm going to use some black foil as well as some gold foil on these sentiments, and then I'll just cut them out into strips. So again, I forgot to pull it out first, then add the plates and everything, and then run it through your machine. But here it is. It's so fun peeling off the foil. There are the pretty sentiments. It says, "You are my home and welcome to the neighborhood." Next for the heart. I love the shape of this little heart. I'll use some pink foil for this. And again, I'm going to use the coordinating die to cut this heart out, so I'm not worried about getting it straight on the paper. And here is the pretty heart. I'm just using my Spellbinders tweezers to do this. And now for the separate little house. I'm going to do this several times with colored cardstock. And I'll use the coordinating die as well. Let's yank it out. Finally, on this last one, I remember to pull it out first. But here is the house with the gold foil. Isn't that darling? Okay, now this time I did it with pink cardstock. And I'm going to do all the colors of the rainbow. But that is for a separate, my second card. So let's get into the coloring. I pulled out several Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers, and I'm using the blender pen. This blender pen is fabulous. I used to use just a aqua brush to pull out my color, but I like this blender pen. You don't get too much water or moisture with it, and you don't have to stop and fuss with water brushes or a little bowl of water. I'm putting in the sun rays and pulling out the color, and now for the sun. So I forgot to mention that I am making two separate cards in this video using these Sweet Cardlets II You Are My Home set. And I had so much fun coloring in these little houses. We'll start with the trees next. And then I'm just putting a little bit of color down and then pulling it out with the blender brush. The houses I'm going to make very colorful. You do have to wipe off your blender brush in between colors so you don't contaminate the different colors. Some of the windows I colored in with a yellow zig, and then some I'm just going to put a little blue streak down them to look like clear windows. This Bristol Smooth cardstock foiled beautifully with this You Are My Home set. And it looks just stunning with the zig markers. I haven't played with my zig markers for quite some time, so I had a lot of fun doing this. It's just some very fun and simple coloring. I did speed it up just because it would take a while to sit and color this in. After I'm done with my painting, I allow this to air dry. And then I go ahead and I use my paper trimmer to cut right up to the edge. And I do that off camera. I also cut out the black foiled frame with my paper trimmer. And here it is all done. I'll hold this up so that you can get a close look at this. They also have a cute bird set that I have my eye on, as well as several other sets that are just beautiful. Now let's put this card together. I'm using some Silver Fox cardstock. I cut it to be a little bit smaller than my white card base. I love this cardstock. It's just a very soft gray. I put some foam tape behind my house image, and I'm popping it up off of my frame. I like that black frame. It's just nice and crisp on this card. And then I used the purple house as inspiration for another mat. So I pulled out some Lavender Fusion cardstock. And this is going to be just a little bit wider than this frame. And then I'll add more dot liner behind this and center it at the top of the card. My sentiments I'm popping up with some foam strips. I'm coming to really love these tweezers. They just help out in many different ways. It allows me to see my sentiments and to center them perfectly on this card without my fingers getting in the way. The heart I'm going to glue down flat at the top. And then I pull out some lavender sequins and put 3 of them around this panel. I'm going to tuck one of them under the sentiment, and the third one I'll tuck under the frame. And here's a close-up look at my first card. I'm going to have to make up several more of these because I really love how it turned out. Now let's put card number 2 together. I cut out most of my houses already, but I have one house and the heart left. I have to get right over the die to make sure it's centered properly, so sorry about my head getting in the way there. And here they are cut out. I don't end up using all of these houses, but I wasn't sure which colors I needed or wanted to use on this panel. This is going to be a mini slimline, so this is 3 by 6. And I'm using another piece of the Silver Fox cardstock. And again, it's smaller than my card base by about 1/8 of an inch. I'm going to put my houses in rainbow order, starting at the bottom with the red. I'll put some foam adhesive kind of at the bottom because I'm going to tuck these houses together. I want room to be able to tuck the next house above this. I won't take off the release paper just yet. I'm popping up the heart with a little piece of foam tape. And now I can start assembling this card. So I didn't end up using the orange or the pink, but I'll save them for another card. Next, I'll put the heart down. The rest of the houses I'm just going to glue down with some liquid adhesive. And again, I'll just put it in the middle so I can tuck the other houses in. This is all cardstock from the Spellbinders new release of their gorgeous cardstocks. And I'll have them all listed in the description box below as well as over at my blog if you're interested. Now for the blue, and last I'll put down the purple. I'm going to use some gold gems on this card. There's several different hues of gold in this set. Let's put the sentiment strip down next, just over the house, and the tail of it will cover the tail of the heart. I wasn't sure where to put that, but I thought that was the best place. And I chose kind of the dark gold gemstones, and I'll just put several of these up the card. I love how they come in different sizes too. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this card video and got some inspiration. Here is a close-up look at the finished card. I love how this one turned out too. This is such a fun hot foil plate and die set. Take care, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful crafty day. Bye.